The hardcore mode for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will be releasing next week between April 14th and April 20th, with the date not specifically confirmed yet. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the different perks and what you guys can expect in this update coming next week. So before I do, thank you guys so much for over 1,100 subscribers. I really appreciate the support. If you're new to the channel, you like gaming news, gaming reviews for RPGs and other games that I'm interested in, please like and subscribe if you like the video that you see here. Now let's get into the video. So if you guys don't know, at least in the first Kingdom Come Deliverance game, the hardcore mode is not only the most difficult, but the most immersive way to play the game. And with these games, specifically Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, being the most immersive RPG I might have ever played, this is going to make it even more immersive than that, if that's even possible. So the way that the hardcore mode is going to work in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is that there's going to be 10 different perks, and you have to at least choose 3 perks to enable the hardcore mode playthrough within your game. And each of these perks are going to completely change up the way the game is played. Now, aside from the perks, there's also going to be some base gameplay changes, like the helpful UI elements that you might have are going to be limited both in and out of combat. Navigating the world is going to pretty much be up to you in your sense of direction only. Your character's position is never going to be marked on your map, although you'll still be able to view your map, and then the compass won't even show cardinal directions. And on top of that, fast travel is going to be completely disabled, so you're on foot from start to finish. Now, moving on to the perks here, the first one you can choose is Bad Back, and this is a pretty realistic, real-life one for me. My 6'4" ass has had a bad back for years, but in the game, you're going to generally be carrying less, and whenever you pick up a herb or a mushroom and your character bends down to do so, you have a chance to strain your back, which is going to leave Henry hobbling around for a while until this debuff runs out. Not going to lie, ain't no chance I'm picking this one. No shot. Now, moving on to the next perk, you have Heavy Footed, where basically the only thing this is going to do is that your shoes are going to wear down faster as you're walking around the world, and you're generally going to make more noise. I think this one is actually pretty good. I think the stealth in the original game, especially once you got it upgraded, was a little bit too easy. People did not notice me very often, especially if it was dark outside or I was wearing the right clothing, etc. So this is definitely one that I think will just make the game more realistic, more immersive, and a bit harder. Now, moving on to the next perk here, we have Numbskull, which this one is basically only going to slow your experience down by 20%. Now, kind of like the last perk, I think this is just a really good one in general for the sole fact that in the base game, it was a little bit easy to get overpowered very quickly. I think part of that was because you're getting skills leveled up so fast. You can do a lot to obviously level up skills right at the start of the game and kind of exploit the game in a way. But just in general, I think this is a good one. It'll kind of slow that progression down to where you kind of keep pace, hopefully a little bit closer to where the game kind of wants you to keep pace at. Now, the next perk here is called Somnambulon. I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly. The last perk kind of describes me sometimes in real life as well, but you basically are just going to lose energy faster throughout the game. And on top of that, when you do go to sleep, you have a chance to sleepwalk anywhere else in the world. Yeah, we're not picking this perk. This one, kind of like the first perk where you're breaking your back or straining your back, kind of just seems a little bit tedious in nature. Something that, especially without fast travel, without cardinal directions, showing where you are on the map, this one, you are going to get lost. You could get far as hell away from your mission, something like that. I ain't rocking it, but it could be a fun and funny one to play with. Now, moving on, the next perk is called Hangry Henry, and this one's going to kind of do a lot. So in addition to what hunger and starvation normally does, it's also going to decrease your speech, your charisma, and intimidation, which I like that. It is a little bit more realistic there, but on top of that, food's going to fill you 20% less, and it's going to digest 50% faster. So with this perk, you're just going to have to really stay up on having that dry food in your bags. Every time you go to a bar, make sure you're filling up in full. Not overeating, obviously, but getting up to that close to 100% as possible so you can maintain that energy. This is one I probably will play with. I think it makes it a little bit more realistic, a little bit more immersive. Yes, there is a little bit of tedium in nature here as well, but I think this one could be fun, and I think it could be pretty easy to offset as long as you're kind of staying ahead of the game with your food. Moving on to the next perk, we have Sweaty, where you're going to be getting dirty a lot faster which means you're going to start smelling faster as well. And when you do, you can be smelled from further away, which is also going to reduce the stealth in this game. It's going to make you a lot easier to detect by NPCs and guards, etc. And perfume is not going to give you any positive effects. It's not going to be able to completely erase the smell on your body. So this one could be a little bit difficult. It's probably one that I'm going to rock as well because it makes that stealth a little bit more realistic, but you're going to be washing constantly. But it does give me a couple more reasons to visit them bathhouses. The next perk here is called Bashful, and I am absolutely not rocking this one under any circumstances for one specific reason, but you basically in this one can't ask any people for directions, which is going to be very hard to get around, especially with no cardinal directions, fast travel, or knowing where you even are in the map. Besides that, you're too shy to speak to girls. So no bathhouse services. You're also going to be gaining your speech slower, but that doesn't matter because I'm not rocking this perk. Because I love the bathhouses, and I'm consistently into bathhouses. This one also is just going to be really hard to rock with the sweaty perk in general, because you're not going to be able to clean yourself at a bathhouse. You can't fully clean yourself at a trough, and on top of that, you can't have perfume to mask anything, so you're going to be kind of cooked here. Now moving on here to the next perk, you have the Picky Eater perk, which is going to make all of the items in your inventory spoil 25% faster, and you're also going to get half the amount of meat from animals and other things that you're gutting, which in general, I think I'm going to rock this one. It doesn't seem too hard, especially if you're not really gutting animals in general, and that's not kind of part of your play style. And then on top of that, just keep dry food on deck to kind of offset the amount of food that's going to be spoiling, and you should be completely fine. We're now on to the second to last perk, which is the Punchable Face perk, which is going to be really the only combat-specific perk, where coming across travelers and getting into a fight is going to be more dangerous. Enemies are never going to surrender. They're going to be much more confident, which is also in general going to make these fights more difficult, and I absolutely love this one. Again, you get overpowered really early and really quickly, I think, in the base game, and making these fights more difficult is going to be so fun. The combat really does have a good amount of depth to it in this game once you start to learn and kind of master it, and you learn more things throughout the game by talking to different trainers, and I cannot wait to run this perk. Now moving on, last but definitely not least, we have the Menace perk, one I'm extremely excited for. 1000% going to be rocking this because basically it's going to make your punishments and getting caught for crimes a lot more severe. Once you're branded for a crime, this effect is going to be permanent, and if you get caught for any serious crime, you're immediately going to be executed. More than this, guards are going to punish you more severely, and the consequences of these punishments are going to be more intense. And what I love about this one, and the reason I'm going to be rocking this one, is because it is going to make those kind of moments when you're stealthing around, you're trying to pickpocket or steal the guards' weapons and armor at the start of the game, anything like that, a lot more intense, a lot more scary, a lot more consequential, because if you get caught, you are cooked. Now, all in all, I cannot wait for this update next week. I really think this is going to be the definitive way to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, like it is, in my opinion, the first game. Now, I do think a couple of these are just a little bit too tedious. Like I mentioned, I'm not going to be rocking Bad Back. I think that one's going to be really annoying and not necessarily make the game more fun, but just make it more tedious. On top of that, I won't be rocking Somnambulant, like I mentioned, just because I don't want to end up in a different place in the world. Now, this one could make the game more fun, but again, it's just going to make it more tedious, and I'm not really going to enjoy it probably more with that perk on. And then the last one is Bashful, because my Henry, he lives in the bathhouses. That's what we need. But other than that, I think the ones specifically tied towards progression and the one tied towards combat are just going to make the game probably a better experience overall and a more balanced experience from start to finish. And then the other ones that are going to make stealth a little bit harder for you and the punishments a little bit more consequential, those I'm just excited for because I think they're going to make the game more fun and more intense. I would love to hear down below in the comments what you guys think about these perks, which ones are going to be rocking, which ones are you definitely not going to be using. Do you like the hardcore system in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and are you excited for it to come out next week? I would love to hear all of your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe if you did like what you see here, and for my returning viewers, as always, thank you guys so much for the support. Like the video if you like the video that you see here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!